Questions for Coach? I'll make this short.
Do you have a read on your squad today and how they might handle it?
Yeah, they're ready.
They are ready? Would you have told us differently if they weren't?
Probably not, but they're ready.
Number 4 in the back. Somebody have a question in the back corner? Brian?
Phil, just what are your thoughts on a college coach potentially getting a $6 million contract?
Good for him.
To coach in the NBA.
Way to go.
Is there anything you can see why college coaches haven't been successful at this level?
It's not an easy job, and when it's 200 and some days, depending upon how far you go into the playoffs, it's a pretty arduous task as far as dealing with stars of all ranges coming to the NBA and dealing with them in team form that has to go on for 82 games. It's a long march, and that gets difficult. The game itself, 82 games is a big difference from 30 or whatever you coach in college. It's an arduous task.
Mike here on the left.
Phil, you went a little long with the shoot-around today. Why was that?
It was early in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning when we got here, LA time. So, we did some stretching and some, just some minor things to kind of get our brains stretched. And then we got out in the court and did some work very slowly and took our time today because it's a long wait between afternoon shoot around and a game time at night.
Do you think these guys will be attuned, accustomed to the time change when practice starts pretty early tomorrow?
They had the first one, I think we had the second one, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it the opposite?
I think it flip-flops at the other end of the coast, if I'm not mistaken. But you probably know better than I do, so I'll defer to you. If it is, we probably won't practice anyway. We just come for the media session.
Appreciate that. Go ahead.
Yeah, Phil, looking back, were you guys mentally ready for Game 2? Did they take Game 2, if it's possible, did they take Game 2 lightly?
No, not at all. There wasn't any sense of that at all. I think that a 2-day break between, I think a little bit of like I said before, is an opportunity for the Celtics to really make some changes and some adjustments that they could make. It wasn't on the fly, it was a 2-day period. And when you're sitting on the other hand, you're waiting to see what's going to go on and what we wanted to do. And their adjustments were better than ours. We didn't need what they were going to do, and they beat us to the punch.
Your team was unpredictable at times during the year, and you talked about you're making sure you got through to them at all times. Now we're getting to a point where these next 3 games, you find out whether a championship team of that caliber. Do you know yet, or are you still curious?
Well, this is a game in which you have to make adjustments on the fly in a ball game. It's not you come out and run X, Y, Z, and get it accomplished. You have to be able to read the defense and make adjustments on the fly. So it's very important that guys are capable of doing that. We call them automatics, but it's really important that they have to do that. So we'll see. This is really, like I told them, this is really the test, the finals.
But do you know the answer yet? You've been around a long time.
You'll see it in the game. The answer's there in the pudding, right?
Yeah, but I got an early deadline. It would help if you could give me a tip.
Can't help you.
Front right.
Phil,
We didn't beat it in the last 3 minutes of the last game, that's for sure.
Front right.
Phil, with the quick turnaround, is that pose any difficulty for Andrew? And do you have to watch him to make sure he's moving okay?
Yes, it certainly will. Hopefully, we can get him in and out of the game in the first half. A little less time, a little earlier for Lamar, give him a better opportunity to perform anyway.
Scott back right. Steve.
I'm wondering how much just the 1 day and the travel day in between these games will affect your use of Bynum.
Yeah, that was a question that was asked down here. Sorry, you probably didn't hear that, but I said we'll watch him closely, try and get him in and out of the game early and see how he does, and it'll be a good opportunity for Lamar to get into the game. He's been coming to the game probably 2-3 minutes later than he normally comes in. I think that affected him a little bit.
Back left.
Phil, you're tied 1-1 and you lost home court advantage. What do you feel going into this?
Well, I think the early momentum is what we're going to have to check. That's what's important. Come out and absorb the crowd energy and whatever that fuels into the game, and then get in the game and go from there. I mean, once that's over and the adrenaline's burned, I think that you see what goes on in the game, and that's the adjustments you make as a team.
Any other questions?